Okay, so here's a conversation that I don't hear discussed very often. I don't know if I ever hear it discussed at all. Um, you look at people like Bill Cosby, Ice Cube, R. Kelly, Oprah Winfrey, um, comedians, sports figures, political figures, and there's in the quote black community, these people are looked up to some degree by various groups of people in the black community. Well, here's a question. What constitutes a black hero? Uh, Someone who should be looked upon with admiration and iconic value. Is it as long as you're black, you should be looked upon as a hero. You should be defended. So, if you're a black man and you murder other black people, you should still somehow be held to some high regard because you're black. Is that how it works? What about the fact that if you're a sports figure, or if you're a movie star, or if you are a successful actor, show business, entertainment, any of those things, if all the black folks in America supported you, you would not necessarily see the level of quote success that you see because of the support you get from people who are not black. So the NBA was not created by a black dude. The NBA is not ran by black folks. Neither is the NFL, neither is Hollywood. None of these things are ran by black folks. These things are all arenas that are created by and ran by non-black people. Probably white people. However, if a black person elevates to a level of notoriety in these spaces that are created by white people and ran by white people, in the black community, they appear to be given some type of a higher status. Name anybody. Magic Johnson. Why is Magic Johnson such an influence in the black community? Now, from what I know, Magic Johnson put money into the black community. Movie theaters, restaurants. Is that why black folk hold him in high regard? Or is it because he used his athletic ability and participated in a sport that was created by white people, ran by white people, and was pretty much catapulted to fame in that arena? I'm not saying that's bad. I'm not saying it's good. I'm saying that's what it is, right? That's what happened. That's what's popping. Michael Jordan, same thing. Michael Jackson, same thing. Jay-Z, even Barack Obama. Why is Barack Obama such an influence? It's because he was given a position that requires the acknowledgement and affirmation of non-black people, white people. Black people didn't put Barack in office. If all the black people voted for Barack only, he would have lost. A lot of white people voted for Barack Obama. The reason why you see Barack Obama on TV and all the notoriety you see on CNN and everything, black folk don't own CNN or Fox or MSNBC or none of that. These are all platforms created by white people, pretty much ran by white people. So, are non-black people pretty much determining what black people will be most influential in the black community? Are they? I'm not saying they are. I'm asking a question. I think they are, but I'm not, solid on it. I'm not where I refuse to believe otherwise, being presented legitimate arguments against it. So, what makes a black hero? Someone looked up in the community. Is it the fact that a person has influence? I look at certain interviews where they got OGs from gangs and stuff like that being interviewed, and these people haven't necessarily been given a lot of notoriety by white folks, but they do have a lot of influence in the black community. Even though I would say in my upbringing, I grew up in the 80s and the 90s, mostly the 80s. Gang banging, I wouldn't say that's a plus for our community. I wouldn't say, yeah, that's a good look for black folks. That's my opinion. But the guys who were running gang banging or in charge are also in many ways looked up in the black community as iconic figures or someone to look up to and give attention to. So, is that what makes a black hero? If they have influence? Because Magic and them have influence, and Barack has influence, and Oprah, and even R. Kelly had influence. Michael Jackson had influence. The big homie from so-and-so Crip gang or Blood gang got influence. So is that what makes a person a black hero? The fact that they have influence, even if that influence is not one that produces anything helpful for the black community? Or maybe it's what black people are led to believe are contributions. This person did this for black people. This person did that for black people. I've also seen that. Harriet Tubman. Oh, she helped the slaves escape. She's a hero. I understand why people say that. But a decision to, across the board, perceive her as a hero. Why? That's a whole nother conversation about slavery. Not to have right now. And again, I'm not disputing. I'm just questioning, challenging. How many people that are black are perceived as heroes and people of influence in the black community who are known because of their contribution to humanity. Hmm. For instance, George Washington Carver. I'm not gonna lie. The main thing I know him for is he created peanut butter because I love peanut butter. He did way more than peanut butter. How often does George Washington Carver come up in conversation? How often is he pointed to in 2020 among in the black conversation? I can only speak from my experience. And I would go as far as to say maybe I'm not in the right circles. I listen a lot. I pay attention. That doesn't mean that I got a perfect perspective or point of view. He was a man that came from slavery, worked hard, stayed focused, took it upon himself to make a better life for himself, and did it. Didn't blame anybody, didn't demand anything from anybody. Never talked about entitlement, as far as I know. Is that what's being promoted right now in our community? Be like him. Is that what you hear? I don't hear that very often. Matter of fact, if you read some of the stuff he wrote, I think he might even be labeled with a negative connotation. He'd be labeled negatively, I think. So how many black folks are looked upon in the black community as heroes, completely apart from being affirmed as heroes outside of the black community? How many people are looked at as heroes, whether other folks, namely white folks, perceive them to be heroes or not? Even white folks say, oh, Harriet Tubman was a hero. I don't hear the names of the Black Panther leaders. I don't hear their names come up very often in all circles as heroes. Who else? That's the conversation.